Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the briefing for Wednesday, the 10th of January. Okay, synoptic situation today. High pressure still above Scotland, and that's really bringing quite settled weather, albeit very cold. See the isobars extending all the way out to Eastern Europe, bringing in very cold air. Generally an easterly flow, but you see there's a kink in the isobars around our area, which is bringing it a little bit round to the north. So pretty much northeasterly today, ever so slightly more from the east. Continuing ahead, high pressure continuing to build, and much the same tomorrow, really. And as we go into the weekend, that's the same picture. High pressure, nice settled weather for us. Winds today, about 25 knots at flying height, and this is showing 060, so about 25, 30 degrees off of 09. And Sandpit's currently showing a little bit of cloud around all high level, and none of that's going to cause us any problems. Looking upwind to the northeast, pretty clear. You can see a few spots of rain quite distant from us, but that's not going to cause us any issues today. Public forecast then showing a sunny day, a top temperature of 2 to 3 degrees with a pretty stiff breeze from the northeast, so it is not going to feel warm at all. Humidity nice and low, so that should help us with canopy misting. And GFS is showing about 3 degrees as a max temp today, with dew point set quite low at about -1. So again, canopy misting shouldn't be too much of an issue, and the last few days it hasn't been an issue at all. That's current view outside, looking very nice. Currently almost 2 degrees below freezing at Lasham, with dew points at -5, so it is very dry air. Odium's forecast nice and short. They've put in here a few clouds at 2,400. Otherwise, 12 knots of wind from the north-northeast, and Farnborough much the same. They're showing the clouds at 3,000. All right, top meteo, very similar to yesterday, is showing potential for thermals to about 1,500 to 2,000 feet from about midday onwards. This is 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. It's showing dry thermals up to 2,000, and unsurprisingly cutting off by 3 as the sun goes down. We had a few people gain a few hundred feet and gain a few minutes yesterday, so hopefully that'll be the same today. No time wise, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, operationally, a little bit challenging with the crosswind, but we should be able to manage on 09. So that means launch point set on 09, slightly offset to the south of the runway, and the cables will be on the north side of the runway, with the winch probably slightly in from the end. Should get reasonable launches. Even with the cables on the north side, we will require correction on the launch to the north or to the left to minimize the cable drift. If the cable drift does become excessive and or gliders are having an issue with the crosswind, we may consider a switch to 05. So I will just detail that. If we do end up moving to 05, that will be with the launch point down here, and the cables will be running along the eastern edge of 05. No correction would be required, probably, as it's directly into wind. Any aerotows will have to be on 09. We can't aerotow off 05, so we'd then have a separate launch point set up as required on 09, aerotowing that way. You can see why we're trying to avoid that operation if we can. I've had a look at the grass down here. It's actually not too bad. So certainly flying on 09. If you need to land on the south side, then you're probably fine. 05 is better than 34. This area here is pretty wet. But to begin with, operation on 09, and hopefully we can continue that throughout the day. A few other notices, glider availability, just the one K21 778, and we've got two K13s, which having flown them for the last few days with the wind being even stronger and more from the north today, that's going to be instructors only. It's very sporting in the K13, but we can manage it. The baby grobs and the discuses are okay to fly, but licensed pilots only, and only if you're really current, please, as it will be tricky today. If it looks like the baby grobs and all the discuses are having trouble, then we'll put them away. A few other notices, misting canopies, a few observations for the last few weeks. Please don't hook on before the canopy is closed. Sounds like a great idea to minimize the misting, but it's not a great idea from a flight safety perspective. And once the canopy is down and you're hooked on, just have your hands on the controls, please. Don't be using your hats to wipe the canopies while the slack's being taken up. If you're not happy with the misting, release the cable. As I mentioned, it shouldn't be too bad today. We might get a little bit towards the end of the day. Very strong wind, and part of that's a crosswind today. So certainly landing on the north side, but probably on both sides of 09, there will be turbulence, curl over, and quite a strong wind shear as it has been for the last few days. So keep your approaches, especially in the single seaters and the K13s, keep them really high, lots of air brake, lots of speed all the way down, keeping at least 60 knots. And just another thing, new directive from the workshop and the new CFI, we're now towing gliders on the Windchuck as that aligns with the BGA guidance. So if we can make an effort to do that, that would be great. Okay, looks like a really nice day. See you out there. Bye for now.